Please join me in welcoming Pastor Moore.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good afternoon to everybody, and Happy New Year to everybody. Wow, Susan, I wanted to crawl under the table when you were saying all that stuff. Wow, like, who's this guy? I want to thank you for the invite to be here. Thank you, John. Thank you, Mr. Todd. And let's give these guys a good hand. They do a tremendous job. And John Todd, wow, rode the bus to Topeka last year with him, and he got me in trouble. We were the loudest seat on the bus, right? But we had a good time, had a great time with that, enjoyed being around good, positive people. And this is my second or third time here. Probably second time to speak at the Pachyderm Club, and really appreciate the opportunity of being here. Thank you, James Franco, for becoming my friend and teaching me all this political stuff and how to get things done, and you do a wonderful job. And if you ever see James, nope? His top button is never buttoned. And I say, James Franco can get more done with his top button unbuttoned than anybody I know. So keep it unbuttoned, James. Never button that top button. That's his signature mark for me. And Susan, thank you. She's been in our school, has been in our lives. She knows my family, the families that go to school there. She's a great supporter of our school, and we lean on her for wisdom, knowledge, insight that she provides. Has helped us. That's how we got our music teacher, was through Susan, and she's helped us in so many other ways. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And also thank you to those that showed up at her meeting and contributed to our school. I hope you got the thank you letter in the mail. Hope all that went through, but thank you, thank you, thank you. Anybody else that I leave off, thank you for being here, and thank you for standing for what you stand for, which is, and what I believe in, is a strong America, a strong country that has strong values, that wants to pass something from generation to generation to keep our country strong. You know, I keep up with news when I can, and when you hear that America's falling behind, man, it troubles me, because this is our nation, you know? I remember being, real fast, and I'll get on all this stuff, but I remember being in the military during the 80s. 81, I graduated from high school, went directly into the military at 17 years old, had them swear me in on my 16th birthday. And so I was going into the military, and then after I graduated from high school at 17, damn, hit the bus, I'm in the military. And I served 3 years, and it was in 1981 through 84, and then in 84, you know, we was having the presidential elections again. And so I understand that a strong military means a strong nation and all that. And it was Ronald Reagan, I don't even know who he was running against in the 84 election with that, but I was getting out of the military in June. I was up to re-enlist, and they hadn't decided who was going to be president yet. So I got out of the military because I was only going to serve under Ronald Reagan. And so when he got elected, I went back into the military because I understood how those things worked. And you know, if we had to go to war, who was going to be leading us in a war? And, you know, we're going to have what we needed to survive. And I got out, and then once he got elected, I went back in. So I really do believe in our country, believe in our nation, and I believe in our children. I believe in our children. I believe that you can take any child from any circumstance, any situation, and you can show some love, concern, and care for that child, and you can teach that child how to be productive. If you can teach someone to be a bad person, you can teach them to be a good person. And so that's what I believe, and that's why we started the Urban Prep Academy, and we'll get right into that, and then at the end we'll have a time for question and answer. Now, Arthur Brooks taught us at KPI that we're supposed to be a happy people, all right? You read the book, The Conservative Heart, talk about, man, we're to be happy, we're to be upbeat and all that good stuff. We get things done. So I'm a happy person. I'm an upbeat person. There's nothing to be down about, nothing to be sad about. God is in control, and we've got a blessed life, and man, we're getting the right people in the right places, and we got so much to look forward to. So I'm a happy and upbeat person, and that's the culture we want to create at Urban Prep Academy. Now I'm gonna do a little walk-in, if that's okay. Can you hear me? There we go. All right. And give a short presentation, and then we'll talk about some things that are happening and take you through Urban Prep. So first of all, welcome to Urban Preparatory Academy. Glad you're here. Our next slide is our mission statement. Our mission statement is we provide a blended learning experience for students, and we do this through an exceptionally high quality education that promotes college and career readiness. With a rigorous and relevant curriculum, we use technology, community service, family enrichment. Family is a very big part of the Urban Prep experience, and character development. Vision statement is that we provide a learning environment where a higher learning earlier. To get them learning on another level earlier in life is expected, and it's practiced in order to prepare students for upward mobility in a global society. Now, the students we get in, first of all, we're K through 6 school this year. Last year we started, we were K through 5. And so our goal is to grow the school 1 grade every year until we're grade 12 and we're graduating students. And so I've got a group of 6th graders. Next year they'll be 7th grade, and I'm working a 5-year plan already, preparing for the first graduating class from Urban Prep Academy. So I've got them thinking about college, connecting colleges, working a 5-year plan right now so that we'll be ready for that first class. And that's where the higher learning earlier comes in. We get students in, some of them are behind, some of them are on task, some of them may be a little ahead. So the first thing we have to do is get students caught up to where they're supposed to be, and then we start getting them to learning on a higher level. And even our kindergarten and 1st grade students, getting them, challenging them, and giving them an educational opportunity where they can begin to learn higher earlier. All right, and we do this by instructional leaders, culture climate. We create a culture. We've created a culture at Urban Prep, a culture of excellence, a culture of dress, a culture of respect, a culture of honor, a culture of high expectations. And it's so awesome, you know, when you get new students in, and then they're coming from different walks of life. They're coming from the public school, man, they got all this stuff going on. And it's like, anybody ever been to basic training?
Oh, yeah.
Do y'all remember this thing in basic training called total control?
Oh, yeah.
Y'all remember that? For the first 2 weeks, I mean, you didn't control anything in your life. But then after 2 weeks, you know, you start conforming to what they did. And so I use that concept of total control. And that when they first come in, they're coming from everywhere. They don't have to say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. They're doing their own thing. Total control. We take total control over you from the time you walk on our property to the time you are released. And it is hard for the first 9 weeks. But after the first 9 weeks, we have a culture that has been developed in the school. And so that's where the culture climate, and then curriculum and instruction, a very rigorous, challenging curriculum to where our math, we want a challenging math program and a good reading program. Those are the 2 areas that children really need. And so we use Singapore math. And Singapore math is just what it is, math from Singapore. When they do the assessments worldwide, the Singaporean students outscored people in math. And so we use the Singapore approach at Urban Prep, and with that. And we also do professional development and our great teachers and staff, all right? Our objectives at Urban Prep is for them to be respectful, responsible, organized, focused, disciplined, and to always operate in excellence. Right? So those are a few of our objectives. Our key design elements are inspired by the effective practices and intensive longer school day and school year. Our students are at school for 8 hours, just like a regular job. I know maybe in other districts it may be 6 hours or 6.5, but they have a full 8-hour work day at Urban Prep. And so that longer day, but then on Fridays we have an early release day and we have an extended school year. So they go to school probably 3, sometimes 4 weeks longer than the public school. So, and then that extended school year, after the end of the 9 weeks, if they're with us another 3 or 4 weeks, we provide enrichment with them to make sure that they learned what they were supposed to learn that year, and then to begin to get them ready for the next school year. Emphasis on the development of literacy and mathematical skills, and then a blended educational experience, meaning that they spend some time in virtual school or online, and then they spend some time there with a traditional teacher. And so blending that. And then our instructional leadership team, culture and climate, infusion of community empowerment, help people from the community come in, empower the students, specialized community empowerment instructors. We establish a safe school environment, respect and honor towards adults and peers, and a culture of continuous growth. And another community thing that we do, we go over to Northfield School of the Arts, and we presented at their Christmas musical this year and last year. If you see there, the children have violins, and we were able to go to the USD 259 auction and purchase 26 violins. Yay, to begin with. So we're working on getting an orchestra and teaching them strings and building toward an orchestra there. Right now they're just plucking because the violins did not come with bows. We're raising money to get bows, but they're just learning how to pluck right now. And they're doing a great job with that in their continuous learning. And then our target student population, we operate as an independent private school and we provide full range of opportunities pre-K through 6. We serve students living in the neighborhood, but we also serve students from far west side and far east side. And we provide transportation for our students. For working class families, we provide transportation. We're up at 24th and Hillside North, and they may live way out south, and mom may work out south or out west somewhere, and they can't get their child to school, so we provide transportation for students coming to school. And that way, we don't just have neighborhood children. We've got students that come from everywhere. They come from all over the city. Our instructional leaders, we follow the principles of leverage leadership. We've got data-driven instruction. What is data-driven instruction? That means that we test every student. We assess every student coming in. And we see where they are with reading, see where they are with math. And then we begin to develop a plan for each student to make sure they're caught up, make sure they're growing. We get observation, feedback, instructional planning, professional development and cultural levers, student culture, staff culture, and managing our school leadership teams. Teachers and staff, we use the cooperative teaching or the co-teaching instructional model. We want to have paras. We don't have paras in the room yet, but we do have some retired teachers that come in and help us with students. Classroom teachers, certified, skilled in the art of teaching, and they have a passion for student success. And this is one of our teachers, Miss Brenda McDonald, and Urban Prep Academy had its first Golden Apple Award winner this year, and Miss McDonald was nominated, and she got the Golden Apple Award winner this year. That was cool for our school to have Dawson Grimsley and all those guys come out and present that, and that was just awesome, awesome. Our teachers and staff will eventually have a librarian, a nurse. One of the things we have now is the Entrepreneur Academy Director. All of our children, kindergarten through 6, they'll always go through financial literacy. That is a class that every child takes. And that's probably one of their favorite classes, but she teaches them everything that they need to know about investing, about spending, about saving, about checking accounts, and all that stuff. They got little stores set up teaching them how to purchase things, how to make decisions in financial literacy with that. And then, of course, we teach character ed and getting them to understand the culture of urban prep and technology. We're blessed. We also have a relationship with the Andover School District. Now that's pretty different right there, is that we reside here in the city of Wichita, but we have a partnership with Andover School District. And we took, Andover School District has got the virtual part of it, the computer online part of it, and we sat down, we looked at what they had, we looked at what urban prep had, and they looked at our math, they looked at everything we got, and said, we don't want to touch your math and your reading. So we keep that in place, but they have science and social studies online. So we took the best part of the virtual school and the best part of the traditional school, and we blended it together, and it happened to be with the Andover School District. And so they provide every student with laptops, which is great. Yeah, and we use that blended technology, and then health and fitness. We try to work PE in there with the children as well. Professional development, that's where the half-day Fridays come in. And half-day Fridays gives our teachers the time for professional development. And then partnering with Andover School District, they provide some professional development help for our teachers. Isn't that awesome? That's pretty cool, huh? Yeah, so all that works out for us. Weekly professional development workshops during the shortened Friday school day. And then our blended learning, talked about that. The students go through first thing in the morning, before we can go to class, we have our morning motivation. Gather all the students into the library, because students come in with all kind of stuff. You don't know what they went through that evening. You don't know what, if they had dinner, you don't know what they had. You don't know how they were wrestled out of bed, rushed off to school. You don't know what they're going through. And so when a child is coming in like that, they're not thinking about learning. And so what we do every morning, and again, we're just private and we're funded, and we by friends and family and whosoever will, is we provide the students breakfast every morning. We serve them breakfast. And then we get them all together for a 20-minute motivational talk, 20-minute pep talk. And this morning was so awesome, you know, you tell them they were tired, first week of school back from the holidays, and been going on, and they took out a gown and all this here stuff, and I know, you know, they're not ready to learn today. So then, you know, we talk about the trip to Topeka that we're going on. And I talked to them about negotiating, have them define the word negotiate. Said, we're going to negotiate something here this morning, and they perk up. Okay, that's what that morning motivation gets them to think and get that mind going. And so said, okay, we're going on a Thursday. On Thursday, we normally wear polos and khakis or jeans. Said, now I want to negotiate with you. I want us to wear our dress uniform with the suit and the ties and all that stuff on Thursday. And then on Friday, we'll negotiate our dress code on Friday. I'll let you have a dress down day. Deal or no deal? No deal. No deal. I said, okay, now you give me something. And one of the students raised their hand, okay, this is what we do. We will wear our dress uniforms that Thursday to Topeka if you let us wear pajamas to school on Friday. No deal. but it got them perked up, you know, and then now everybody's listening. And now, you know, you get their minds going and they're ready to learn. So we have a lot of fun with that. And then they go into class and they have the 2 90-minute blocks in math and reading. And they rotate between 3 stations in the room to where they have the teacher that has one group and then there's another group that is working online, and then there's another group that's working out of their book. And then they do that for 30 minutes, and they rotate there in the classroom with that, working independent, the computer, and with the teacher. And let's see, academically rigorous, challenging, innovative, all that good stuff. Oh, yes, want to highlight this. Assessment, screening, progress monitoring, and diagnostic measures. We do. A lot of times, you know, when people say, well, you know, these private schools, these charter schools, you know, they pick the brightest schools and they leave all the worst kids in the public school, and they do all this here stuff, and they don't do any outside assessment. All their assessments are done within them, so they do all this stuff. No, we don't do that. We assess the students coming in on our own. But we've been blessed to have a partnership with the school district to where they provide STAR testing, where the students are tested in reading and math. And guess what? We're a private school. We're going to do state assessments. And so when we go to Topeka to argue this thing out, I can't wait to get to Topeka, James. So just show them what really goes on with a good school, and that we're not afraid of assessments, and we don't just do everything internally, that we have people outside that are assessing our children. And I can't wait to get up there. Remember that lady? She's still on my mind. I'm going to get her back. So I'm looking forward to that. James knows what I'm talking about. So we do that. We do the STAR testing, Jerry John's testing, and we'll be doing state assessments with the Andover School District. And I've got some results from our STAR testing here with me today. Now, school choice. School choice, what we did get is that tax credit for low-income students. And we just received the report yesterday for January 16 that was prepared by the Kansas Department of Education, their finance team. Anybody here received that report? James, you got it? And it shows who used the tax credit scholarship and how it's been done. Anyway, so we'll go over some of the numbers and talk about school choice. You know, our school is a choice school here in the state of Kansas, and we formed a scholarship granting organization through our church 501c3, and our school is one of the schools that can benefit from that. And the way the tax credit scholarship program works is that you have an SGO, a scholarship granting organization, and C corporations, insurance companies, and financial institutions are able to donate to that scholarship grant organization toward the tuition of a low-income student, and they get a dollar-for-dollar tax credit up to 70%. And they give into that SGO, and it goes toward the tuition of that child. And got that piece of legislation through, thanks to Kansas Policy Institute and others working on that. That was the first piece of choice. And so now we've got the report as far as how it was used and who used it and everything. And I think it's great information. I tried to implement it into the PowerPoint, but I did not. Now, I have to take my glasses off to see up close and put them on and see back there. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 scholarship granting organizations. And the number of students, eligible students that participated in the program was first we had 222 students statewide that applied for it. Now, you know, in the beginning, and them fighting and testifying up there, they saying that every student is going to leave every district and jump into this thing, and there's not going to be anybody left to teach in the schools. You know, and this year we had 222 students in the state of Kansas submit eligibility forms. And the KSDE determined that 149 students to be eligible for a scholarship since the start of the program January 1, 2015. Okay? And then it has the breakdown of those eligible students and what SGO serviced them, and us here in Wichita Christian Faith Center serviced 18 eligible students. The majority of them came from the Kansas City area out of the Catholic Diocese, and 3 from Renew a Nation, and our organization was, we had 18 students that participated in that. Okay, there was 90 students from USD 500 in the Kansas City district, 32 students USD 501 Topeka district, 21 students from USD 259. So we did not empty out 259. There was 21 students. All right. And I think teachers still have jobs, but we were able to reach some kids and change their lives. All right. And then it gives the other breakdown with all that good stuff. Let's see what this one is. Oh, it just lists all the schools and that good stuff. But there's not a whole lot of people, we didn't empty out the schools, but there are some families that do take advantage of this. And we've had families that come in, we look at our population, we have 39 students this year. Last year when we started the school, we started with 13 students. So this year we tripled our attendance. And that lets us know that the need is there for schools of choice, and parents really want the children to have this dynamic opportunity that we're trying to provide for them. And so the legislative report, we can email that to you or get it to somebody with all that good stuff. But Urban Prep Academy, we're learning. We're still in the learning phase, still growing. Next year, we'll be moving into the middle school arena. We have 6th graders this year, but next year we'll have 6th and 7th graders. And so developing that, and that's a whole new world right there. Looking forward to that. And we'll just continue to grow 1 grade every year until we get there. Our tuition, we're a 10-month school. So we go 10 months, we have extended school day, and then we have the extended school year. It's a 10-month school. Our tuition is $4,500 a year. $4,500 a year. And, you know, there are some that say, you know what, we get $13,000 a year, but we need $17,000 a year to teach these kids. You keep throwing that money at them, but them scores keep going lower and lower. And then we take $4,500, if we get $4,500, and we take these kids and their scores go higher and higher. So it's not about throwing all that money into it and increasing all that funding and all that, but it's about having that passion and teaching them in the right way so that they can continue to grow. So our tuition is $4,500 a year, which is $450 a month, and we probably have 98.9% of our children that are on scholarship. We have some of them that we sit down with the families, show them how much it costs and everything, and we say, okay, how much can you pay? And I had one grandmother, she brought 7 children. They all qualified for the tax credit scholarship program, but of course you have to have people give into that, have to have business give into that. And she brought 7 children to me, all 7 of them qualified, okay? But you have to have the money to fill that gap. And ask her, okay, how much can you pay on the difference? And she says, I can't pay anything. So do we accept those 7 students or do we turn them away? We accept them. Other families come in, how much can you pay? Well, we're really struggling right now. I can pay $20 a month. You know what? Come on, sign them up. And we work with these families and we work with them. And they get involved and man, to see their children grow. And I was so excited with the STAR testing and the first round that we did, and then we got to school, we did our second round, and then to see visible improvement in students. And I love that. I love that. I'm going to open it up for a question and answer right now. Try to.
Pastor Moore, what specific ways can people help the Academy?
Specific ways that people can help the Academy. Oh, wow. First of all, is funding. And we right now, when we offer transportation, our van, we have to talk to it every morning. and say, now come on, just one more trip. And so we need a van for transportation. We are working on our 501c3. And I think I'm at a place where I'm stuck with that, and probably will need some type of administrative or help in completing the 501c3. With that, just getting the word out about the school, getting as much knowledge as you can about the tax credit scholarship program, and sharing it with business owners, with C corporations, institutions like that. And we're putting together an advisory board, and they will help. And sometimes, like I told them, sometimes I don't know what I need because I'm so in this thing and working it so much. But I would say our biggest need is just funding and helping students with tuition right now.
I have to confess, the first time I heard you speak was in a small group, and you were pretty passionate and shared some of those stories, and before I knew it, my hand had found its way to my purse and my checkbook was up on the table. You have a way.
Quick, couple questions. How many bows do you need?
We need 39 bows.
What size?
Yeah, they're the, what's the
Do you
smallest?
have an estimate?
1/4?
Do you have an estimate on that
quarter.
cost?
I sure do, and I left that out in my truck. I think the cost of them was like $516.70-something, or $586.70-something.
I'll cover it for you.
But thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Make my way over here.
Thank you very much for sharing with us here at the Pachyderm. The question of religion always comes up in education because you can't talk about Aristotle without talking about religion. You can't talk about Einstein without talking about religion. So how do you handle the religion topic in your school?
Again, we're a private school, and we're not funded with any state or federal dollars. That we're totally private. And when we looked at starting our school, we really looked at whether we were going to begin a Christian school or just a private school, and weighed the difference with that, and we decided to go ahead and become a private school, even though we are Christian. But we do pray over our students because prayer works. And we have that opportunity and that right to pray over our students and to pray with them because we're not federally funded. We don't receive any state funding, any government funding, and so that's what we do. We do not have a religious curriculum, but we just live the life and use principles and teach them those things.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that was my question. Do you teach the Bible at all, a class for the Bible?
No, sir. No, sir. We don't have any religious courses that we teach. Everything is strictly that reading, writing, arithmetic curriculum with that. Again, you know, we in the mornings when we have our morning motivation, that first 20 minutes, we do then is we'll teach them scripture, we'll teach them something motivational with that.
Yeah, well, what about the difference between $4,900 and $14,000 the state gets? Do you think that's primarily regulation or administration?
Wow. I think a lot of that is just administration. That they I don't know how they use that money. I can dream of ways to use it, but I don't know how or where that money goes. I don't, I guess everybody's different, but I don't think that, again, I can see ways you could use that money. But if you use that much money, you ought to have results to match that.
You mentioned low income in your presentation. Do you have a certain definition you work from in terms of how low income would be defined for whether it's for qualification to get tuition assistance or any other aid benefits?
Yes, sir. The way low income is defined by state regulations. So whatever the state or the school board defines as low income, we follow the federal poverty guidelines in defining low income. And with the scholarship, in order for them to get the scholarship, the tax credit scholarship, they have to be approved by the state. They send all that into the state, and the state approves whether they are eligible for free lunch or not. So all that is approved by the state.
Tell us a little bit about your physical facility. How much capacity for growth do you have? What are some of the issues and capital needs you'll be facing in the next 4 or 5 years?
Yes, sir.
Mention the tour in with that too.
Yes, yeah. And after, from 2:30 to 3:30, the school is open for a tour. But our facility is the former Mueller Elementary School located at 24th and Estelle. It's one of the schools that the school district closed down there, and they built a new school. That school was part of a bond issue, and so it did receive new heating, air, plumbing, fire, and electrical work. But of course, to the systems to keep those things maintained requires a whole lot, especially the system that we have. It is a system that it's computerized. You have to plug your laptop into it to keep that thing. And sometimes when a system like that goes down, then you don't get a $300 bill like you do at home, or you get a real big bill to get that heating and air system back in. We have great facilities, but they do need upgrade. We would like to upgrade it. It'll probably need a new roof in a couple years. Like to have a new facade or even a sign. We need permanent signage. Permanent signage. Oh, yes. Playground equipment. Thank you, Susan. It's on a little over 4 acres, And we got this big open field, and when they closed the school, they took all the playground equipment. So there's no playground equipment there. And so the kids, we have balls and things like that we take out there, but there's no playground equipment. So we'll need that. Again, signage is what we would need, and roof, probably need some painting done and things like that.
Right here.
How are your teachers chosen? Are they recruited? Are they paid the same salary as or do they have to be accredited?
Good question. The way that we recruit our teachers was just word of mouth and just talking to universities, talking to different ones, talking to retired teachers, just getting the word out. That's how we got them. They don't have to be certified or accredited right now. I know once we get into high school, we will work on getting our school accredited for children that enter into college, but they're not accredited right now. Now, some of our teachers have teaching experience. One came from the school district. One just recently graduated from Wichita State University, but has this passion and has this gift for teaching. And so you can tell people by their heart whether they have this passion or are they just looking for a paycheck. And so we get people that have this passion, that love it, and then we pair them with retired teachers. And we have retired teachers, like the new teacher we just hired, graduated from Wichita State University, was out in Andover working some programs out there. The need came at our school, asked her to come over to Urban Prep. She comes in. Now she is paired with a retired teacher, and that retired teacher is developing her.
How about salary?
Salary, it's not comparable to some of the major districts, but we do pay our teachers we start at $36,000 a year.
I think this will be the last question here, and then we've got some announcements.
I just want to ask you, aside from the parents of the kids who obviously have a story to tell, what is the feedback that you're getting from people in the community, legislators, the Greater Wichita Ministerial League that you talk with, as far as your school, what choice means to them and what it can mean to them, more than just the families who are actually attending urban prep?
Good question. Good question. Because I talk to legislators a lot, interact with them. I've been the president of the Greater Wichita Ministerial League and dealing with pastors. And they see it as a great need, a great addition to that neighborhood. But whether or not they're sending their children there yet or not, or they're not yet. They think it's a very positive thing. Legislators, they've had an opportunity to tour and be and see what's going on, and I think slowly they're getting it. But I think that there's so much peer pressure among them to where they're afraid to do what's right and to recognize how children could really benefit from this. And then the pastors are starting to come around, because I preach this all the time. And when we have our Greater Wichita Ministerial League meetings, we have them there at the school. That way they come into the school and they see what is going on every month. So it's been a positive change. And you ask, and I was just meeting with somebody just before I came here about that. And they're friends with some of the legislators. And when I talked to them about school choice, they said, well, who is it that's voting against this? And then she says, what? Like, yeah. She said, well, can I go talk to them? Please go talk to them. And so that's where we are with that.
One more. Let's give him a big thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carl.
Oh, well, thank you, sir. Thank you, guys.